came home at 11 p.m. and found my wife in bed with her own brother. My name is Mark. I am 44 years old, a construction supervisor who spends his days building solid homes for growing families. My hands are rough from years of real work, but my heart had always been soft and completely devoted to Sarah. She is 43, a dedicated nurse who cared for her patients with kindness and patience. We met 8 years ago after one of her long night shifts. She walked into that small local bar still wearing her scrubs, looking exhausted from the day but carrying the warmest, most genuine smile I had ever seen. Our eyes met, and something inside me just knew. We sat and talked for hours about life, dreams, childhood memories, and little things that made us laugh. I walked her to her car that night feeling like the luckiest man alive. From that very first evening, we became inseparable. Sarah opened up to me very early about her lifelong struggle with endometriosis. She sat across from me with tears shining in her eyes and explained how this condition had been part of her since she was a teenager. It meant she would never be able to have children. Her voice shook as she told me that if I dreamed of a big family with kids running around the yard and filling the house with noise, I should walk away now before our hearts became too attached. I took both of her hands in mine, looked straight into her eyes, and said clearly, "Sarah, I choose you. Kids or no kids, my future is with you." She cried in my arms that night, and I held her tightly, promising that my love was bigger than any other dream I once had. That promise became the strong foundation of our entire relationship. We dated for 3 beautiful, joyful years, filled with weekend getaways to the lake, quiet evenings cooking together, long walks with the dogs we would later adopt, and laughter. That made ordinary days feel special. Then we married in a small but heartfelt ceremony right beside the lake. Sunlight danced on the water as we exchanged our vows. Her brother Jake stood proudly as my best man. Jake was 38 at the time, friendly, outgoing, and someone I genuinely liked. We bonded quickly over early morning fishing trips on quiet rivers and hunting weekends in the hills. Those shared adventures created a real friendship between us. He had his own wife, Lisa, and 2 young children. Everything in our circle felt warm, stable, and full of promise. The early years of our marriage were filled with quiet happiness. We created a comfortable home together. Sarah continued her nursing career with passion and care, while I advanced in construction, taking on bigger projects. Although we could not have biological children, we poured our love into each other and into our 2 rescue Labrador retrievers, who quickly became our furry children. We took them on hikes, played fetch in the backyard until sunset, and laughed at their silly antics every single day. Sarah sometimes struggled with deep insecurity because of her condition. There were quiet evenings when she would softly whisper that she felt she was holding me back from the big family life I once mentioned wanting. Each time I would pull her close, kiss her forehead, and remind her that she was my family, my home, and my everything. Those honest conversations only made our bond deeper and stronger. I truly believed our relationship was unbreakable. We had faced her health challenges together. We had supported each other through tough work days and celebrated the good ones with simple pleasures, like movie nights or stargazing on the porch. Life felt complete and steady. Then this past spring, I received an excellent opportunity for a 3-week construction project about 3 hours outside the city. The pay was very good, and the work matched my skills perfectly. When I told Sarah about it, she smiled gently and said she would stay home this time to take care of the dogs. They get anxious when the house stays empty for long periods, she explained. It sounded completely reasonable. She had joined me on many previous jobs, but I understood and respected her choice to keep things calm at home. I packed my bags on Monday morning, kissed her goodbye at the front door, and told her how deeply I loved her. She stood on the porch wearing my favorite old flannel shirt, waving as I drove away. That final image of her stayed with me the entire drive. The first 2 days on the new job went smoothly. The crew worked well together, and I stayed focused on the tasks. On the evening of the 3rd day, I suddenly realized I had left my blood pressure medication back at the house. The doctor had been very clear that I could not miss any doses. I decided to drive back that night. The round trip would be long but necessary for my health. As I traveled through the dark roads, I thought about surprising Sarah with her favorite flowers. I stopped at a store along the way and picked up a beautiful bouquet. I imagined the happy look on her face when I walked through the door unexpectedly. The thought kept me smiling mile after mile. I reached our quiet suburban street just before 11 at night. The neighborhood was peaceful with most houses already dark. My headlights swept across the driveway, and my heart gave a strange, sudden jolt. Jake's truck was parked there. Why was he at our house? His wife Lisa was supposed to be in labor at the hospital. Maybe he had stopped by quickly to pick up something from our last fishing trip. That explanation seemed possible, but a quiet, uneasy feeling settled deep in my stomach. I parked the car quietly, grabbed the flowers from the passenger seat, walked up to the front door on soft steps. The house was mostly dark except for a soft, warm glow coming from our bedroom window. I smiled to myself, thinking Sarah had probably fallen asleep reading or resting comfortably. I wanted this surprise to feel gentle and loving. Turning the key as carefully as possible, I stepped inside. The dogs came to greet me but stayed calm, recognizing my scent right away. The air felt familiar yet carried a strange tension I could not quite name. I moved slowly down the hallway. Our bedroom door stood slightly open. Soft sounds reached my ears. A quiet laugh that was definitely Sarah's. Then a deeper voice answering warmly. My stomach tightened. My heart started beating faster. I pushed the door open the rest of the way. The scene in front of me stopped time itself. Sarah and Jake were together in our bed. Their bodies close under the sheets. Clothes scattered across the floor in a hurried mess. A bottle of our favorite red wine sat half empty on the coffee table with 2 glasses beside it. On the side table, our wedding picture had been turned face down. Sarah's wedding ring rested next to it, removed and set aside like it no longer mattered. Shock hit me like a wave of cold water. For several long seconds, I could not speak or move. Then the pain, disbelief, and confusion exploded inside me. What is happening here? The words tore out of me. They both startled awake. Sarah's eyes flew wide with pure terror. She clutched the sheets tightly to her chest. Jake sat up quickly, reaching for his clothes. Mark, please let me explain, Sarah said, her voice breaking as tears started streaming down her face. Jake tried to stand. Mark, this is not what it looks like. We can talk about this. Not what it looks like? I repeated, feeling the world tilt beneath me. You are in my bed with my wife, your own sister. How can you even say those words to me? Sarah cried harder. Tears poured down her face. Mark, I am so sorry. It just happened. I felt so lonely with you gone. We had some wine. It was a terrible mistake. Please believe how sorry I am. A mistake? My chest felt tight with hurt and growing sadness. You stayed home to care for the dogs, yet this is what I find? After 8 years of choosing you every single day? After all the times I reassured you that you were enough? The pain cut very deep. I had stood by her through every insecurity about her condition. I had loved her fully, even when we learned we could never have children. Jake tried to calm the situation. He pulled on his shorts and stepped closer. Mark, we never meant to hurt you. It was only one time. I could not listen to any more excuses. I grabbed the lamp from the nightstand and threw it against the wall where it shattered loudly. The sound matched the breaking feeling inside my heart. Both of you need to leave my house right now, I said with steady strength. I whistled for the dogs. They came immediately. Sensing the heavy emotion in the room, I grabbed their leashes, my wallet, and walked out without turning back. Sarah called after me from the doorway, her voice full of tears. Mark, come back. We can fix this. I love you. Please do not leave like this. I drove straight to a motel on the edge of town. The room was simple and quiet. I sat on the edge of the bed with my head in my hands, while the dogs curled up beside me, offering silent comfort. My phone would not stop ringing and buzzing with messages and calls from Sarah. Long apologies. Explanations about loneliness. Pleas for forgiveness and another chance. When I finally replied, it was short and clear. I want a divorce. The following days tested every part of my strength. Sleep became almost impossible. The image of them together returned every time I closed my eyes. I replayed our entire 8 years together, searching for any signs I might have missed. The questions haunted me through many long sleepless nights. How long had this been going on? Was this the first time? Why would Jake do this to his own sister's marriage and his own family? I contacted my lawyer friend late one night. He listened carefully to the full story and then grew quiet. He said we would protect everything I had worked so hard to build. I shared the photos I had taken that night before leaving the house. Those images helped the legal process move forward with clarity. Sarah kept trying to reach me. She came to the motel one afternoon with tired red eyes and begged for a conversation. She spoke about feeling overwhelmed and how the wine had clouded her thinking. I listened, but my heart had already started creating new boundaries to protect itself. Jake sent one single message expressing regret and calling it a one-time mistake. The words felt empty after the deep trust they had both broken. The divorce continued steadily because the situation was clear. In the final settlement, I received the house, the truck, and full care of our 2 beloved dogs. Sarah received half of the money in our joint account and then moved several states west to stay with family. On the day the house became completely mine again, I stood in the living room. Sunlight streamed through the windows, warming the space. The dogs sat beside me with tails wagging gently. I picked up our wedding picture and looked at our smiling faces on that sunny lakeside day. Then I placed the frame into the trash bin. It was time to close that chapter and begin true healing. Healing came slowly, but with real progress. There were still difficult moments when sadness or anger would rise without warning. Yet small lights of hope began to appear. Lisa, Jake's wife, reached out after discovering the truth. She had just welcomed their new baby and was facing her own deep heartbreak. We talked as friends who understood the same pain. Those conversations helped both of us feel less alone and gave us courage to move forward. As more weeks passed, I decided it was healthy to open myself to new possibilities. I created profiles on respectful dating apps. My mother expressed concern that it might be too soon and suggested taking more time. I explained gently that staying stuck in the past would not honor the life I still wanted to live. Sarah had made her choices. I was choosing to live again. That decision led me to Emily. She is 36, warm, intelligent, and shares a genuine love for dogs and the outdoors. Our first meeting was at a peaceful coffee shop. We talked for more than 4 hours. She listened with real care as I shared my story. Instead of judgment, she offered understanding and kind words. You deserved so much better, Mark. I am glad you are giving yourself a chance at happiness again. Her words felt like gentle healing. We have continued seeing each other at a comfortable, respectful pace. It feels honest, full of possibility, and truly hopeful. The dogs have adjusted wonderfully to our new daily routines. They greet me at the door each evening with excited energy that always brings a smile. I have started renovating the bedroom, choosing fresh, calming colors and new furniture that represents this fresh start. Each improvement in the house mirrors the positive changes happening inside me. Jake's life has met its own natural consequences. From what I understand through distant connections, his marriage has ended in separation. The weight of his actions has become clear to him. I do not wish harm on anyone, but I hope we all learn important lessons from the pain and choose better paths ahead. Looking back over the complete journey, I see it with clearer eyes now. From the beautiful evening we met and fell in love, through the happy years of building our life, through the shocking discovery that changed everything, through the difficult steps of letting go, and finally into this new chapter filled with strength and hope. The sadness still visits at times, especially during quiet evenings, yet it no longer controls my days. I have the home we once shared, now filled with fresh possibilities. I have the loyal dogs who bring joy every single day. And I have the chance to create new memories with someone who truly values my heart. Life has shown me that even after the deepest hurts, we can rise stronger. Love can find us again when we are ready to receive it. I am grateful for every lesson, even though they arrived through such unexpected difficulty. If you have ever been betrayed by someone you trusted with your whole heart, I want you to know you are not alone. Your feelings are valid. Your story matters. Drop a like if this journey touched something inside you. Share in the comments what you have experienced and how you found your way forward. Your words inspire every person watching tonight. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next powerful story of heartbreak turning into hope. We have many more real emotional journeys coming that will keep you engaged and remind you that better, brighter days are always possible. This was my full story from complete shock to standing strong with an open, hopeful heart. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply choosing to live well and love again. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate every single viewer. Until the next story, take care of your hearts, keep moving forward, and remember, you are stronger than you know. Peace and healing to all of you.